everybody. Well, a couple things. First and foremost, I'm back from Rhode Island, and I've had like a long day, but after a week of working up there, I am now kind of rested because now it's time to avoid, well, putting us off. It's really kind of bittersweet that I started doing these reviews of the show back in 2013 while I was still a freshman in high school. And I could not believe that despite me being set back from COVID and working, I finally actually managed to do it. So, it's time to kick off the inevitability, but it's time to begin the final season of Friendship is Magic as we begin the first part of our Season 9 premiere, fittingly enough, the beginning of the end. So this episode starts out with Twilight and the main six rushing over to Camelot on foot to basically call in for an emergency situation as the princesses basically explain why they summoned the main six.
Well, there is more to it. Equestria is currently enjoying its longest period of harmony in recent years. And it's all thanks to you, Twilight. And your friends, of course. Who? Us? It's about time you noticed. Thank you. Because of your efforts, there's been less and less for us to do. So, after much consideration, my sister and I have decided it is time for us to retire.
Breaking news! The royal princess is retiring. I have so many questions. Who will take over? Who will run Equestria? Will it be someone tall, dark, and handsome? Or will it be the Lord of Chaos? Fine. Go with the obvious choice.
So, yeah, that's kind of a major bombshell in the last season, is that Celestia and Luna are planning on retiring, and essentially, they're going to be putting Twilight in charge of Equestria. Now, I am not the type to kind of discuss all more of the monarchy rules of Equestria, but given how Twilight is kind of being thrust into this along with her friends, it's basically like the princesses are now like, yeah, you guys have your busy lives, but we're basically making you rulers of Equestria, though they do kind of have to give them a few days. But yeah, this is a pretty massive bombshell to kind of drop, and it really kind of gives Twilight really panicking to basically wondering if she has what it takes to lead.
You're retiring? Princesses can retire? Of course we can. I, for one, am looking forward to a little R&R. Maybe a trip to Silver Shoal. And you want me to take your place? Mm-hmm. With the help of your friends, of course.
Yeah, like I said, it's like, yeah, have them give up all their lives for them to rule Equestria. Like that, that's nice.
Over the years, we watched you grow. You faced task after task, challenge after challenge.
Countless adversities. Yeah, we get it.
And you always prevail.
Thank you, but that doesn't mean that we're ready to do what you do.
Oh, of course you are. I realize it's a lot to take in, but...
No, makes perfect sense.
Well, awesome! Does it mean we get all your powers?
I thought this was growing up in every pony's dreams. You can't be ready to step into their horseshoes just like that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Considering that ruling a country takes a lot of work and effort, it's really kind of saying a lot. It really also kind of makes you... Now, with that all being said, I really do like this scene because while Celestia and Luna do kind of bring up a lot of good points, that Twilight is the one that essentially overcame a lot of trials to get to where she is now, we do see all the doubts in Twilight thinking if she really has what it takes to lead Equestria, where we see that doubt in her and that if she is ready to do this after 9 seasons.
Well, if the princesses think it's time to retire, we're not a bad choice. We always have Equestria's best interest at heart.
That's a fair point, which should be taken into consideration when we have a roundtable discussion.
I'm in. Some things will all need a complete wardrobe update. And I would love to pick your brain about main maintenance when you have a moment.
So while Discord continues to make fun of them back at Twilight's castle, as he basically continues to bring in all that doubt.
I was being sarcastic before. What? This is all so ridiculous. where you all tell little Sparkle here that everything is going to be fine, but she won't believe you. Oh, I don't need to be here for this.
Oh, jeez. It's really like Discord always knows what to think, and basically he does have a point, as Twilight then goes to her usual freak out, because as I said, she really has a lot of doubts on whether or not she can lead Equestria.
I know I said yes, but then they said in a few days, and there's still so much to figure out. It's all happening so fast. I think I need some.
Yeah, and like I said, the way that the main six are handling Twilight's freakout, like what they did in the holiday special, compared to what they did in Lesson 0, definitely shows how far they've all come as friends to handle Twilight's freakout moments.
Okay, I'll feel much better once you make a plan. Oh, wow. It's like you knew you were going to react this way. Classic Twilighting. Twilighting? You made me a verb?
It's not a bad thing. We just know you have a process.
Stage 1. You get big news, and you're like, no! You hate, and you charge, you worry. It's okay. You go ahead and Twilight, and we'll be here for you.
I really like how the show just created a new word, Twilighting. I don't remember where I got the definition from, but basically this was the definition that I pulled. I think it was from Facebook when this episode came out, but basically the official definition of Twilighting is to initially react with panic and irrationality, but later calm down and embrace and accept in time what has happened. That's the official definition of Twilighting, and that kind of makes you wonder if they would add that to the dictionary. Please add that to the dictionary, because I feel like that lately I've been doing a lot of Twilighting lately. See? I've been doing it too. Especially at work, where I react to something with panic and irrationality, but then later calm down and then embrace and accept it. So even I can do Twilighting.
You're all acting so calm. This is a big deal. Only do if something big happens and the princesses aren't there to help. If you think about it, they literally almost never help.
I really like the meta humor here, and really Rainbow Dash makes a very good point. In about 8 seasons that we've seen them, the princesses don't really do anything. They haven't really tried much to help out. The closest that we've gotten was back at the Season 6 premiere, where Celestia and Luna try to hold off the Wendigos, but other than that, every time there's been a major threat, they barely do anything or even appear to help out.
And we still always win. Like when Sombra almost took back the Crystal Empire, or when Chrysalis pretended to be Venus, or when Tirek came back and absorbed all the magic, or the other time Crystal tried to take over, or when Cozy Rose. Am I missing anything? Pony of Shadows, Starlight when she was evil, and Twilight is evil.
Do Flim and Flam count?
That last one, no. But I really like how the show really addresses how far the main six has come, not only just to make a point about the princesses, but all the major threats that they've managed to take out over the last 8 seasons.
We've almost always done things without the princess's help, which makes sense now because it was all just training for you to take over.
And it worked. I mean, think about it. There hasn't been a single villain that we couldn't defeat. Phew.
And speaking of villains, remember what I said back in the main six where I'm wondering if basically Chrysalis basically went at Cuckoo in the head? Well, basically that's what happens as we then cut to Chrysalis, as we basically see how far deep her rabbit hole has gotten, as apparently she has been living in a cave.
One day, you'll see. I will defeat Twilight, Sparkle, and her friends, and they will pay for stealing my kingdom.
Yeah, it really kind of goes to show how far the rabbit hole Chrysalis has gone down, because now she's making wood carvings out of the original changelings, and I really do like the fact that she's now shifted her attention to Twilight over in the Starlight, so it's a step in the right direction. But then some strange black mist takes her away. And we then cut to Tartarus, where apparently Cozy Glow has been annoying the shit out of Tirek.
It is Lord Tirek. What is it now?
I just want to make sure you can see my best friend's rock sculpture from over there.
Still the charming little demon child. But I really like kind of the interactions with Tirek and Cozy Glow, given how Tirek is basically like the 80s muscle villain, and Cozy Glow's kind of the goofy 90s cartoonish villains. But then those same black smokes end up taking her away, and then we cut to the underground where a spell is made, and so now you're probably wondering, what the hell is going on right now?
Tirek, a changeling? See? She gets it.
Chrysalis, queen of the changelings. Or at least I will be, when I'm restored to my rightful place. Why did you summon me? What do you want?
Oh, golly. We didn't bring you. I thought you freed us from Tartarus.
Tartarus. Whoever pulled you from there must have been some pony very powerful indeed.
Oh, fuck me. So, yeah. So, in case anyone was wondering, essentially now, all of the former villains that are still villains, Chrysalis, Tirek, and Cozy Glow are freed from their captive prisons and their psyche, but we also see the return of King Sombra that was apparently brought back to life by transmutation.
King Sombra, you have returned. Why did you bring us here?
It was I. You may call me Grogar.
I got nothing to say. That's really kind of an epic entrance. So this is essentially a new villain that's introduced, a blue goat named Grogar. Now, because I haven't watched Generation 1, my knowledge of it is very limited, but from what I've heard, much like Tirek, Grogar used to be, basically was another Generation 1 villain. I don't know the differences or how he is from his Generation 1 counterpart, but if this counterpart is anything to go by, Grogar is definitely very menacing. Especially given how he was able to pluck all the former villains back to their former captors, and we basically just want to see what exactly his evil plan is. And why he brought all these villains here.
Grogar?
I thought you were a legend. I've heard of you. I assure you, I am very real. And you have all been brought here as part of my plan to rid Equestria of Twilight, Sparkle, and her friends. Once and for all.
Yeah, so basically Grogar plucks all the former villains to make this Legion of Doom-esque of villains. And the minute I say Legion of Doom, it cuts to them showing a skull-like cave, kind of making it seem like the Hall of Doom. I cannot contain my excitement for this, so what exactly is Grogar's plan?
So sorry. Was the name Grogar? It just doesn't ring any bells.
Grogar! I have been away too long, and my name no longer strikes fear into the heart of one so tiny.
Or maybe because Cozy doesn't really know much about it, since I'm sure she wasn't paying attention to the legend.
Perhaps a demonstration of power is in order?
So then Grogar then decides to use some of his magic, and he starts to do it by giving Tirek magic and giving him back about 75% of his strength.
Grogar is ancient, extremely powerful. The land that would become Equestria was a mere collection of farms and pastures until he declared himself emperor of all he saw. I remember hearing tales of his tyranny when I was young. I have also heard of the first emperor of Equestria, the father of monsters.
Oh, by the way, alright, well, before we get into it, I might as well just address it right away. So, King Sombron's voice actor had changed since the Crystal Empire two-parter. His new voice actor is Alvin Sanders, and of course the Transformers Unicron Trilogy fan in me can't contain myself to say this, but yes, that is the same voice actor that does Demolisher in Transformers Armada and Energon that's the new voice of King Sombron. And it's really kind of eerie seeing Demolisher in pony form, So it's really kind of eerie to kind of mention that. And well, let's just keep going and kind of explain that I do kind of admit that Sombron's new voice actor doesn't really strike all that fear. I mean, I give Alvin Sanders this. He's at least trying with the material that he's given, and he's trying to give off the same air that Sombra did in the Crystal Empire two-parter. But it doesn't really hit all the same notes. And considering, like I said, this is the same guy that voices Demolisher, and in both Transformers Armada and Energon, Demolisher was one of the more comedic villains of those shows. And it's basically like I'm still hearing Demolisher trying to be taken seriously.
I gave life to the foulest of creatures and allowed them to run wild, taking what they wanted and destroying the rest. My reign was a glorious, fear-soaked epoch of darkness in Equestria.
Ah! Until Rusty the Great rose up and banished you.
That fool believed taking my bell would defeat me, but she only weakened me temporarily.
Tirek is really old. No offense, you look great. But if he knew about you when he was young, we have super different ideas about what temporarily means.
Silence!
I really like how Grogar is now kind of one of the first villains that's not going to put up with any of Cozy's manipulation because he knows what to do. So now basically Grogar kind of lays down a plan of what exactly he wants from the villain.
With millennia gathering power, biding my time, waiting for the perfect opportunity to seize control of Equestria. And watching all of you, I've seen each of your humiliating defeats at the hooves of 6 puny ponies. And you know why they've always bested you?
Because they cheat.
Because they are annoyingly lucky.
I'm just a kid, so...
And just for a bit of a spoiler alert, because I already went into this rant at the end of the second part of the second race two-parter, we don't really get any much deeper depth in the Cozy, which is unfortunate, but I just wanted to throw that out there. So Grogar gives the actual reason as to why the other villains had failed, some of them more than once.
It is because they work together. When one is weak, another is strong, and thus unified, they are a formidable force. But we shall use their own strategy to defeat them.
So basically Grogar's plan is essentially forming a temporary villains alliance, basically what Thrax did in Power Rangers Operation Overdrive in Once a Ranger, only better by 20 miles.
What are you suggesting?
I suggest nothing. I demand that you join me, and together Equestria will be ours. I don't do.
But Sombron is actually the only villain to not really consider it, considering that he never officially met the main 6, and thinks that he can take him out on his own.
I will take back the Crystal Empire on my own, and I will destroy any pony who gets in my way. Such confidence. Go. Try to take back your kingdom. I shall send you there myself. If you prevail, you may keep it. But when you fail, you will submit to me. And if I refuse this deed, then I shall return you to the darkness for which you were summoned. Ah, but this is a waste of time, and I will crush those who defy me. I will defeat all who get in my way.
Yeah, this is what it reminds me when he talks.
I've had enough of your insubordination, you worthless weasel, and now it's time to throw out the trash!
Yeah, so basically now I kind of agree why, as much as I give Alvin Sanders at least trying with the material that he's given, it's really kind of distracting, and it kind of makes you wonder, I'm listening to Demolisher basically bicker and try to strike out on his own. So as Grogar sends Sombron to the Crystal Empire, he gives the remaining villains a fair warning.
To prepare to work together.
Well, working together sounds an awful lot like making friends, so... You two are in luck, because I know all about that.
I really gotta admit, Tirek and Cozy have surprisingly really good chemistry, and just the physical humor just cracked me up. So we cut back to the friendship school as Starlight basically checks in on Twilight, who is pretty much still freaking out.
Exactly. No, I didn't. Oh, no time.
Help! She's spiraling! We're at the my planning to plan stage of a total Twilight meltdown!
Oh, got it.
But Starlight basically comes in and knows exactly what she has to say to her own teacher.
Did I write down eliminate redundant lists on my school of friendship to-do list or my personal to-do list? Starlight! Ah! Starlight! Oh, good, you're here. I need to talk to you. Okay. Hang on. I had talk to Starlight written down on one of these. Just let me find it so I can cross it off. Wow, you are twilighting hard. You say twilighting too? Well, excuse me! This is the first time I've ever been asked to run a whole kingdom. You're right. You're right. So, what did you want to talk to me about? Ah, here it is. I wrote it down. Starlight, you have blossomed into one of the strongest, smartest, most caring ponies I know, and I can't think of any pony better to leave in charge of my castle and the school's friendship. So what do you think?
What? You want me to take care of the castle and run the school?
Yes?
I can't. I'm not ready.
Well, we're going to have to save that for a later episode, because then we basically get as Twilight continues to freak out with the paper bag, Sombron makes through on this threat and invades the Crystal Empire. And does this nightmare fuel? Now, here's the thing I gotta say first and foremost before we continue. For the longest time, Sombron has been considered to be the laughed-off villain of the entire show, where even though we get a lot of backstory about him, he didn't really do much in much of the Crystal Empire two-parter. This premiere shows the power he witnesses, and by God does he back it up! So he's able to break through the Crystal Empire without any issues.
With the crystal heart now in my possession, there is nothing to stop me from ruling the Crystal Empire. Kneel before Sombra.
Again, I still can't help but listening to Demolisher as he basically tries to make through on a threat. So essentially, in the main six here, the news about the Crystal Empire, as they then head off to basically try to deal with the issue.
Any pony, even Sombra.
No. You didn't need the elements the last time you defeated Sombra. And I'm not sure that using them still counts as handling things on your own.
Yeah. So basically, they tried to do the same thing as they've done with majority of the villains and use the elements of harmony to defeat him, and Tirek. And much like how he pointed out, Discord basically says that they didn't need the elements the last time that they defeated Sombron.
My family is in danger. I'm not taking any chances.
She's got a point.
Fine.
What's his problem? Starlight, can you stay here and take care of the school? I've got you covered.
So they head off to try to grab the element, and they manage to do that, and while Sombron becomes incredibly cocky about the whole thing and boasts about it, and again, it's kind of like Demolisher trying to boast, and it's kind of more laughable than anything else.
How can I be surprised when I'm waiting to show all of you your greatest aim?
But then the main six come out, and we get your nightmare fuel. But Twilight is able to easily overcome it, and they're able to free basically the family, and basically blow Sombron to Kingdom Come. So yeah, that was kind of pathetically easy, that Sombron, with all his boasting, again, it was basically like Demolisher trying to basically be a main antagonist, striking out on his own, only for him to go out like a little bitch. Yeah, that didn't really last long, now did it? So yeah, and it also kind of makes you wonder what exactly were the other fears of the main six were, basically kind of wondering. So they free the Crystal Empire, and it seems like everything was...
I shall win the war!
So he went out like a bitch. So it seems like everything went smoothly, rather too smoothly when you think about it. So while the main six celebrate,
Well, on our own. Does this mean I still don't feel like I'm 100% ready? But will I ever? Knowing you, nope. I have you guys.
so yeah. So while they celebrate and they put the elements back,
What's going on?
I don't know.
oh, fuck.
Yup. This is gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that about describes this premiere. By God, what a way to kick off season 9. I mean, there really was a lot of build-up that I could really say about this first part. I mean, I really do like the next steps that they're taking, with Celestia and Luna retiring and then giving the powers over to Twilight to essentially lead Equestria. I really also like the fact that we do actually get to see Grogar's presence. It was minimal, but it served a purpose. It basically built up what the final season is going to be like. All the former villains that hadn't yet reformed basically coming together to form this Legion of Doom type of society. Sombron, while I will admit his voice is a bit irksome because, again, it's basically like Demolisher trying to strike out on his own, as I've said multiple times throughout the review. While he couldn't be taken seriously as his voice, by God does his actions severely back it up. And I really like how this premiere basically already goes through the tropes where the main villain's defeated by the elements of harmony, but the tail end of the episode just squashes that right away as Sombron is not only able to destroy the Tree of Harmony, but also the elements of harmony to show how powerful he can actually be. And by God, this kind of leaves me all the more excited for the second part. And on top of that, the meta humor and the humor in this episode before all this definitely cracks me up a bit. Now, is this premiere perfect? Not really. I guess really the only thing that really kind of holds it back a bit, like I said, on top of like Sombron's irksome voice, is just really kind of how Celestia and Luna, while they do bring up a lot of good points, the fact that they're willing to just thrust Twilight into a power position for only a few days and not think about the possibility of a new threat to arise is kind of irksome. But like I said, other than that, by God, I am excited for part 2. So yeah, season 9 is really kicking things off with a bang, and I am looking forward to it. So, as a whole, I say the beginning of the end is about an A so far. Part 1, at least, is an A. It gives a build-up, it sets the standards of what the season's going to be like, and we see such a tremendous payoff from Sombron. Alright, so with that said, the beginning of the end, part 1, is an A. Alright! I can't help but be excited, but so next time, we're going to kick off the second part of our Season 9 premiere. And I am so looking forward to it. I'll see you guys in the next part.